It's making me start to think it wasn't me that was fucking with the earphones. Unless we've swapped.
Fucking with the earphones.
Well, you're fucking cussing me out because I hadn't adjusted my earphones properly and I got some kind of pea head.
No, I said the opposite.
I'm fatted. It's not fat, it's just flat.
It's
unbelievably flat.
It's just broad.
It's like
broad. It's not that flat.
It is quite flat.
You got a bit of a peak.
It is quite flat. Right, where the fuck are we? We've got a lot to talk about.
Are we recording? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outlawed podcast.
We're back. All right, was that a do the reads?
That was a UFC 268. No, today we are brought to you by NordVPN.
Oh, fucking hell, you doing the reads now? Replace me already.
Go
I haven't even left the country yet.
I don't know what your read is. I'm just making it up now.
It is NordVPN, you're correct.
Go to NordVPN.com. Download the app. Is there an app? There must be an app.
Well, now you're just getting weird.
73% off if you use the code.
Well, if you go to nordvpn.com fucking hell,
Can't do it, can you?
Can't do it. That's it.
I can't say knockout. I always say knackout. I don't know why.
/outlawed. This read is a debacle. Start again.
Go on then.
NordVPN.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outlawed podcast.
This week's episode is brought to you by NordVPN. Again, twice in a row. Thank you very much, NordVPN. If you want to watch anything that is geo-blocked, NordVPN is your go-to company that will help you with that, and it will also boost your online security in one click. How good. We will get you 73% off a 2-year plan and 4 months free of charge. So if you want to go to BT Sport and watch the Usman Covington breakdown show with Dan Hardy, then you can.
You can.
Irrelevant of where you are in the country.
Where you are in the world.
Like if you're in the UK, for instance.
I've seen it popping up in the comments a couple of times. Yeah, thanks NordVPN. Love it. Love it.
Wicked. It also comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. I'm struggling today. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Money back guarantee. So yeah, go get involved in that. We're also brought to you again by unboundmerino.com. They've just sent us some lovely new threads. We have the Kanga hoodies on.
I like a big hood.
Very cool.
You can have this hood up with your headphones on.
There you go.
Probably not you. Your headphones are a bit stretched out.
No, they're not now. I've equalised them. Externally equalised them. Unbound Merino are ethically sourced, durable, fashionable, and if you use the code OUTLAW, you will get 15% off and free shipping if your order's over $100. We love them, long-term partners. I think at some stage I might say a sentence correctly today.
No chance.
I'm not sure when it's happened yet, but we've got an hour.
Your reads are as good as your picks.
Yeah, my picks are all right.
Yeah, not too bad. No, they're terrible.
Good. No, they're not.
Okay,
that's propaganda.
No, we were talking about this on the live stream, weren't we? Hang on a minute. Let me pull up UFC 267 before we get on to UFC 268.
It was a very enjoyable card.
It was awesome.
For lots of different reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Blown away by the Dagestani top game wrestle fuck death charge.
Wrestle fuck death.
Yeah.
Sounds like a death metal band, doesn't it? It's ridiculous.
It seems insurmountable, doesn't it? It's like, oh shit, how are we going to evolve quick enough to deal with this? Because they're coming and they're flooding the game in a minute, aren't they? Yeah. And it was very, very, very impressive.
A lot of one-sided, performances. Yeah. I mean, just so, Chimaev was just dominant over the Leech, and we kind of, I mean, I think most people expected him to look like that, but then there was also this. Well, the Leech is tough and he is durable,
and he is.
Yeah, I mean, he went to sleep. Yeah. He fought all the way to the end. He was giving thumbs up about.
Tell you what, a lot of people have tapped a lot earlier than that.
Yeah,
because he did not have much space a couple of times, and then when Khamzat changed his hands, it was all over. Gave him a squeeze. Squeezed him to bed.
Yeah. And I expected Makhachev to win, but I didn't expect him to roll through Hooker like that.
No. But like it wasn't even there.
No.
Just blasted through like it was a speed bump on the way to...
Who's next? He could fight next weekend.
Yeah, he could.
They both could. Scary performances.
Forced rapid evolution is coming because otherwise they're just going to dominate. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what happens, isn't it? We saw, we've seen the evolutions over the span of the UFC and MMA, haven't we? So it's only another thing to evolve around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question for Makhachev, and it was kind of the same... I suppose we've gone around in a circle a little bit, because it used to be Khabib and Tony Ferguson, and can Tony's bottom game and subs be the antithesis? Now it's Makhachev and Oliveira.
Yeah.
Like, can Oliveira keep it standing and use his kickboxing, or is he going to get taken to the ground, and is his jiu-jitsu going to save him?
I reckon there's one stop before that, is have a crack with Chandler. See what happens.
You reckon? Well, the winner of this, the winner of Chandler Gaethje?
Yeah.
Or have you just made your pick for this?
Pick.
Yeah, yes, straight away.
There you go. Done. I reckon that'll be fun. Just to see, just to see where that's at, because you would think Chandler's, it's an elite wrestling game. It'd be interesting to see how elite is, the comparisons of wrestling styles, I guess.
Yeah. But then I thought Gaethje's wrestling game was going to be, competitive with Khabib's, and he just wasn't. So
not at all, was it?
I don't know. I think you need someone that's not a wrestler.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon that's the antithesis?
I mean, we saw what he looked like against Sarukian. Can you imagine him and Chandler doing the same thing? Like, I still think he gets the better of Chandler in those exchanges. I know Chandler's a good wrestler, but this is a different style of wrestling. Like, Chandler's like the old school style of wrestling.
Yeah, the NCAA are like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is not how this works.
Yeah.
We're the best wrestlers. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
This is Dagestani bear style.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we had a wrestling dominant era, it forced an Anderson Silva to come through, didn't it?
Yeah.
He became the antichrist to everything.
Yeah, forced the sprawl and brawl era a little bit, I mean, Chuck Liddell, he used his wrestling skills for takedown defense.
Yeah, interesting. What else? Man, it was good. It was good.
Glover Teixeira.
Get yourself a Glover Teixeira base operating system.
It's crazy.
How long have you said that for?
Right.
Just get it in there. Can you get that in there without all the things he's been through to get there? Like, he's layered that into his DNA, but that's through years of experience, isn't it? I mean, I guess as coaches, that's our job, to find the shortcuts to get that layer into people's base game.
Well, I think he's highlighted what the path is.
Yeah.
I think if you look at what his game is, and I know, of course, it's complemented by having all of the other skills in there as well, but there is a core to his game. He does predominantly find himself in mount, and he does predominantly win fights with rear naked chokes and arm triangles. And, the fact that he takes a shot and he's still able to do it is even more impressive. What you want is someone
instinct now, isn't it?
Yeah. What you want is someone that's got that base level skill set of the Glover Teixeira, but they've also got a good striking skill set on top of it, and then they can add a bit of flair wherever they want, whether they want to add some spinning kicks or heel hooks or whatever it is. Like, that's the point you get to where you can add that little flair to it.
Yeah. It was wicked to see, man, and I know it's inspired quite a few people we know just about, fucking hell, 42.
Yeah.
Go on, Glover. Go on. I mean, it's a little bit different at the heavier weights. It's trickier at the lower weights to be a bit older in it. I think you lose a little bit of pop, but and it's a bit easier for the bigger guys. But yeah, good on him. I think a lot of people are happy for him.
Yeah, for sure. Even Jan was.
Even Jan was like, fair crack. Well done.
Yeah, I listened to Anthony Smith's interview yesterday.
Yeah,
and he was like that was one of the questions that Ariel put to him, and he was just like, I couldn't be happier for him. Like, everyone wants to kind of see that. It's a bit of a Cinderella story, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Jones smashed him to pieces with elbows, and for him to come back and to be so dominant and beat Jan like that, and Jan's no pushover.
No.
PT Jan Corey Sanhagen.
It did not disappoint, did it?
Unreal.
Did not disappoint.
I haven't watched it back yet. I wanted to give it a couple of days breathing room, but
it was just amazing. Sort of fascinating how I thought, Corey came out flying, didn't he? Like, he won that first round. Like, clearly won that first round. And if you hadn't watched much of Jan, you might have been lulled into the idea that he was going to lose this. There was no way back from that, but it seemed like he did a massive assessment in that round one, picked out what was going on, and then really came back, didn't he? He probably assesses and adapts better than most in that division.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Really
impressive.
And the speed in which he was covering distance moving forward as well. I mean, we saw it in the Uriah Faber fight where he really stepped through range and nails him with that jab cross. But like towards the end of the fight, especially that fourth round, where I don't know, Corey seemed to really dip in the fourth round, and Jan came on strong, and he was like double stepping and stepping through and cracking him with big crosses. And then right between the fourth and the fifth, there was a little back and forth from their stools, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And Corey was like you kind of saw Corey react to whatever PT Yan had said, and it was like, and he got an adrenaline boost, and it made that last round more competitive.
They're wicked, man. I could watch, watch that all day. They're who I want to see competing for belts in that division, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you put TJ in the mix then? Do you want TJ against PT Yan first, or do you want to see the Aljo rematch?
I'm not that bothered about watching Aljo fight, but you've got to do it.
Do you not want to feel that like that needs resolving?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've got to do it. You got to do it somehow. And I'm on Yan. Like I like watching him. I want him to win it, and so then it will legitimize it, won't it?
So then, what if Aljo comes out and beats PT Yan? Then what do you want to see?
MMA match, isn't it?
Right?
Who knows? Yeah, someone will probably change weight classes. Probably go down. Things aren't going. Yeah, things aren't going well. Drop a weight class. But there's some just sick fights to be had in that division. Those guys are going to fight each other here, there, and if there's anyone else coming up who's going to disrupt those sort of top four.
Let's have a look. Lerone Murphy looked good.
Yeah, he did look good, didn't he?
Really good.
I'm glad he got that win.
And it was always going to be a hard fight. There was always going to be problems in it. Macwin's a dangerous fighter. I don't know what would get him back on track now, because when he first came into the UFC, no, not at all.
No.
I'm pulling up the rankings here.
Yeah, Rob Font could maybe disrupt that top 3 or 4.
He's been around a while, Rob Font has.
Davalishvili, is he ready to disrupt those guys at the top?
I don't know. Yeah, he does
a
bit
too much, don't he?
He does a bit.
Cody's around. Frankie's
fighting this. Yeah. I mean, Marlon Vera, you can't count that guy out. Song Yudong's right there at the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Must be.
There's no one that stands out massively that's going to disrupt Sterling, Yan, Dillashaw, Sandhagen, sort of, I
mean, I wouldn't mind seeing.
Font, maybe.
I wouldn't mind seeing Dominic Cruz back up there in that mix, but he's a long way down now, isn't he?
I mean, it's not like Aldo's not looking good, is it?
No, right.
Love it.
Okay, do you want to talk about 268?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay.
Down the bottom, who you got?
I have
Vergara.
CJ Vergara against O'Day Osbourne.
Yeah. I think
we're all good, Jamie. He's looking around like we're not recording. It panics me when they do that. They do, I think they do it on purpose.
Yeah,
they'll be sitting there doing their own thing, and all of a sudden they'll go,
"Oh shit, everything's all right."
What the fuck, man? Okay.
O'Day's good, man. I thought, obviously, I realise he's coming off a flying knee KO, but up until against Manel Cap, who we've numerous times discussed about being a very, very solid, potentially very, very good fighter. And I know he's coming off a flying knee, but he looked good in that. He's very twitchy, very, very bouncy, fast counter striker. He's got a really busy front hand. I know he lost that fight, but he wasn't, he was looking all right up until that point, as that happens sometimes.
For sure. And he's picked up a couple, he's picked up a win in the UFC, that straight cross against Rivera.
Yeah.
I lost to Kelleher and I lost to Manel Cap. That's kind of that's a good level in the division. He looked good on the Contender Series as well, and this Vergara is coming into the UFC for his first time. Very similar records as well. Is it 9-2 and 1, 9-4 and 1?
This is we sort of know. We know what this is for him. He's killing it on the domestic scene. He's knocking people out. He's subbing people, and now he's got this undercard spot on the UFC. On one of the biggest cards of the year. This is his moment, isn't it? We've been there. We know what that is.
Well, I mean, O'Day's been in that situation. He was on the McGregor card, wasn't he? When he lost to Kelleher.
I think they're both tough.
They are.
They're both really tough.
It's a good place to start the card. The one thing I do like about this guy, because I watched a couple of his fights, and he's very much a Muay Thai fighter, and he's trained by Pete Spratt, who obviously is UFC veteran. Really good kicks to the body. I think that's one of the best things to do against someone like O'Day, because he's very elastic, he's very springy. You can't guarantee his head's going to be in the same place as it was when you threw the kick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you keep cracking to the body, you might slow him down a bit, work the legs. And O'Day's coming off a loss by a knee, and this kid's got really, really good knees. I mean, his last one was a knee to the body in 41 seconds over Bruno Correa. What a name, Bruno Correa.
Yeah. I got O'Day.
Yeah.
I think maybe the fact that this is his third or fourth time in the UFC octagon, and this is Vergara's first time in.
Yeah.
I think I got O'Day. There's more to watch on O'Day. Do you know what I mean? I sort of understand who he is a little bit more, but
he is very. I mean, it's a very competitive fight. I don't really have a pick necessarily, but I'll go with Vergara just to be the opposite of you.
Just to be obtuse.
One thing I will say is, I mean, he's got 2 losses on his record. One is a rear naked choke in a minute of the first round. The other one is a split decision loss to Jonathan Martinez, who obviously is a really good fighter. And I thought he had a really, really good first round and a half in that fight before he started to slow down a bit. And that was a while ago. It was 2015. I think he's good. I think he's a good addition to this division. Yeah. And I think if he beats Manel Cap, we might be looking at someone that causes some problems.
If he beats Ode Osbourne.
Yes, if he beats Ode Osbourne.
Yeah.
Who's already beaten Manel Cap.
I knew what you meant.
You know what I mean.
You didn't shout out your Unbound Merino beanie.
Do you like it?
I do like it. It's nice.
You've got the navy one, haven't you? Yeah. Because you're a bit of a navy kind of guy. Yeah. Navy blue.
Yeah. In the navy.
Okay. Next one. Melsick.
Yeah.
Against Bruno Silva.
Baghdasaryan, is that what we're saying?
Baghdasaryan
versus Bruno Silva. Melsick is tough, man.
He is.
That fight with Anglin, he punched some holes in that man's head.
He did.
Yeah.
And the head kick finish. I mean, he even kind of kicked through his guard.
Yeah.
Southpaw.
And it wasn't an easy fight. Anglin put up some resistance. I think he got a little bit gassed, but he was a big athletic dude with some striking. He did put up some resistance. I think he sort of went over the cliff a little bit, and then Melsick just seemed a bit crisper through most of that fight.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's good, man.
And then we've got Bruno Souza
yeah.
on a 10-fight win streak.
Yeah. He lost his debut, didn't he? And that was it.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost since.
Lost by unanimous decision, and then he's been on a win streak. There's a lot of decisions.
It's a great matchup, though.
It's a lot of decision wins, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a stoppage from elbows and punches, a DQ win, 2 submissions. It doesn't say what they are.
A close one with Elijah Johns. It was good. That was a good fight. He got his chin tested a couple of times.
Yeah. I can't not go against Melsick. I think
this will be a bit more of a test than Anglin was for him, but I still think he'll come through and he'll take it. Yeah. He's just a touch higher level, isn't he?
I think so.
Just everywhere.
I think so.
Yeah.
Slick striking. Okay.
Nice. Love it.
Dustin Jacoby against John Allan.
Jacoby is like my boy. Like you have. That you have. Who are the brothers? Daukus. Yeah. Just like him. He's just. These two is like it's 2 JCBs fighting each other, and it's just like dang, 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 just like sparks coming off every time they collide.
Yeah,
it's like we said a while ago. Industrial is the best way to describe Jacoby, really. Isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a good style to have in the heavyweight division as well. Isn't it? Oh, they're light heavyweights. These boys fight like heavyweights.
Yeah, this is light heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
They go hard, man. They both go hard. Yeah. They go real hard.
Bit of a rough run for John Allan. There's a lot of pressure coming in here because, if you look back at his record, he's been fighting outside the UFC and doing well. And then he was on the Contender Series and lost to Mahia by triangle choke. Then he went out of the UFC and picked up a win. Then he came back into the UFC and he's got a no contest and now in the split decision loss to Delidze.
Yeah, which is,
it's just pressure,
tough.
isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Like you've almost been there. It was close.
And Jacoby's been doing this for years. He's over 10 years in. He's fought all kinds of styles. Bellator, he's fought on Glory. He's fought Alex Pereira. He's just gnarly and efficient, and he's knows his game. It's not beautiful, is it? But it's effective, and he's tough for anyone, really, isn't he?
Yeah. It's kind of like the next fight as well, Villante against Barnett.
I got Jacoby.
I'm taking Jacoby for sure. Yeah,
definitely.
Villante against Barnett.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you know what you're getting with Villante. Like, he's gone up to heavyweight because he can't be bothered to make light heavyweight.
Right.
Like, realistically, he should probably be a middleweight.
Probably.
You know what I mean? He's a banger. He doesn't really move his head a great deal.
But he's seasoned, isn't he? He's been around a long time.
Yeah, he is.
Seen a lot of different pictures.
17-13 his record.
Yeah,
but then
it's getting close.
Yeah, but then Barnett's clearly not a heavyweight, is he? He's 5'9"?
Fat middleweight.
Yeah.
We talked about him before, didn't we? He's super athletic. Like, he takes you by surprise. You did not think that is going to come from him. But he went up against Big Ben Rothwell, didn't he? And he was just he's probably the most veteran you could come up against.
And once he gets on your neck, Ben Rothwell,
you're done.
Yeah, especially if you're already breathing hard.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, look,
5'9".
Villante should probably take it, shouldn't he? Like he's more experienced. He's probably a touch more well-rounded, but he could at any stage get caught by something unorthodox from Barnett. But
well, that's like you just said though. Like Barnett's his movement and his ability is surprising when you see him walking out. And you kind of think to yourself, well, if he's gonna do something that's gonna catch, like if you think back to Villante's fight against Oleg Shayjuk, where he took that shot to the body, like you could quite easily see Barnett catching him in the body with something and knocking the wind out of him and getting the
spinning
TKO.
back kick or
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Villante should walk him down and kind of box him up a little bit and just like lean on him and make it look ugly. But if Barnett can keep some space and keep moving, he might be able to catch him with something.
If he does, it'll be like a spectacular finish, won't it? I think it's probably like that. Villante is going to grind out a decision, or Barnett is going to do some mad shit and win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Barnett wins, you'll see it first thing in the morning on your Instagram.
Definitely.
It'll be the first spoiler that you see. Okay.
Yeah, nice. So you got Villante as well? Are you going
Yeah. Okay, who we got next? We've got Jordan Williams, Ian Garry.
Interesting. I mean, just interesting to see Ian Garry. Like we've seen him on the Cage Warriors scene. He's torn through that. He's he's a mainstay of our domestic scene, isn't he? He's 23, 6'3", moves very, very well. Fights really nicely off his back foot, doesn't he? Like in that Jack Grant fight, he fought predominantly off his back foot and pieced him up.
Did look a little vulnerable at times in that fight, I thought. Yeah, I do. I mean, like if you look at his fight against Rostam Akman, he looked slick. He set him up beautifully with the head kick. And that was a good win. I mean, Rostam Akman won IMAF. He was a UFC vet. Didn't win in the UFC, but put up a good performance against good fighters. And Ian Garry just toyed with him. And the fights before that against like Lawrence Tracy, McManus, Figlak. I mean, Figlak is a really, really good win as well.
He's coming, isn't he?
He is.
He's coming on.
He's the next wave.
He might be the wave that
the Figlak
that follows,
brothers. Yeah. Both of them, Figlak brothers, that they're coming, and the Hardwick brothers as well. We've got some brother teams coming through at the moment. Anyway, against Jack Grant, he looked a little bit pushed at times, and Jack Grant's a veteran. I mean, he's 17-6 is his record. Was his record. He's able to push fighters, but Grant was doing things that were leaving him at risk. And Ian Garry was starting to look a bit panicked at times.
Was the UFC contract on the line? Was it one of those that...
It might have been.
That was basically you, wasn't it?
I think...
don't lose this, or you've got a contract, but just don't lose this fight.
Well, I mean, I think like there was always that he had the potential. He always had the potential to be going to the UFC, and I think of course there was a bit of a sound, a bit of a a rumbling around the fact that he was going to be signed if he won, but he also left his gym right before that fight. Do you remember?
Right. Yeah,
like there was that separation between him and Chris Fields and the team that had kind of got him to where he was. And I genuinely believe that if he was back with that team, he would have had a better performance against Jack Grant. Now the thing is,
the strongest drug in the world got involved in it.
For sure. My goodness. But the thing is, like, he got through that, and now he's managed to get his UFC contract, and he's over in Vegas. So now he's got a lot of doors that have opened up to him. I think he's been training at Syndicate. He's been obviously training at the PI. No.
Was it Syndicate? No, I remember seeing it. It was like it was a big gym. It was a big gym. Where did I see
in Vegas though, right?
You know what? I didn't think it was, but I'll find out rather than talking complete shit as usual. I'll actually give you some facts.
Sanford.
Sanford, yeah. So that's not Vegas, is it?
No,
that's out in the middle. I remember I looked at it the other day. It's out in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
Oh no, Deerfield Beach, Florida. No, Sanford MMA's Henry Hooft, isn't it? He's had so many different.
That's not in Florida, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. He's had so many different gyms, or he's been part of so many different gyms. I've kind of lost track now.
So he's in one of the big gyms. That would be gold for him.
It's going to be really good for him, and he's definitely got the potential to be really problematic. Now Jordan Williams he was the kid that was fighting at middleweight because he couldn't cut weight because he's diabetic.
Yeah,
I think.
right.
And now I think he's tightened his diet up, so now he's kind of walking onto the scales at 170.
Yeah.
So that puts him at an immediate disadvantage. And his technique is a little bit kind of...
He's not very polished, is he?
Not really.
Yeah. I feel like he's becoming one of these guys that the debutant gets a test out. You roll Jordan Williams in and see what happens.
He could be that guy. I think Jack Grant's going to probably catch him with a head kick. I can certainly see that.
Jack Grant, you're
I need a good night's sleep.
When
mate,
I say
honestly.
/ this is the same as what's going on now.
I need a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
Yes,
you do.
Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry's going to catch him with a good head kick.
Right.
He's a slick striker. He's very calculated, and I would hope that with the mind of Henry Hooft and the guys that he's got there to work against, he's going to be the best version of himself. Yeah.
It's tough. John Williams is tough, man. He took Imavov to a decision loss, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's
But then they both gassed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I was Ottokin side for that one. They both gassed. It got kind of ugly.
Oh, let's leave it.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was a little bit. Let's just lean for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I got Ian Garry.
For sure.
I think he's in a very good spot. I hope they don't rush this first part of his UFC career too much, but I think he's in a good spot.
I mean, this is his 8th pro fight.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of time to develop.
Yeah, this is a pretty good fight for him.
Yeah, it is. And he's young, and it's a tough weight division. Yeah. I mean, usually people aren't peaking at welterweight until their late 20s, early 30s. Yeah. This is a good opportunity to build somebody. And I think Jordan Williams is a good pick for him. But if he talks too much of a big game, he might get accelerated a bit too fast because there's sometimes a need for stars.
Yeah.
He's got to be careful of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Ian Garry.
Yeah, go for it.
Edmund Shabazyan against Nordin Imavov. Nasruddin Imavov.
Yeah, I like Nasruddin. Shabazyan came in flying, didn't he? Knocking people out and all sorts. And then he ran into Derek Brunson, who,
big brothered him a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, didn't he?
Derek Brunson's good. And Shabazyan should have been pulled out of that fight.
Yeah, it was too much too soon.
Yeah, it
was sort of alluding to Ian Garry. What we just said about Ian Garry, but too much too soon. He just came in hot, didn't he? And then he lost to Jack Hermanson as well, didn't he?
Well, this is it. Yeah, but I mean, like if you look, he came into the UFC. So he's got a contender series win, beat Darren Stewart by split decision. Then he's got 3 first round finishes: Charles Byrd, Jack Marshman, and Brad Tavares.
Yeah.
So it was like all of a sudden he's 10-0, and I mean he's young into. How old is he?
He's young.
23. Same situation as Ian Garry.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now he's fighting Derek Brunson.
That's a big
jump.
Big call, isn't
Didn't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah, cheers management.
Isn't it, right? And then, Jack Hermanson, like...
He dragged him around a bit, didn't he? He just out-hustled him.
Yeah. I think this is a much better fight for him, a much more comfortable step up, and I actually think he's going to look really good. I think he's going to be too much for Imavov. Yeah, I think Imavov's good, but I have seen him, kind of struggle and lag a little bit.
The only sort of note I put is Nasruddin's fought a few people. He hasn't fought the level of striking that Shabazyan's going to bring.
No.
Like I think the crispness and fluidity that he comes with is going to be difficult for him to deal with.
And Shabazyan's going to have head movement in his corner as well.
Of course,
so he's probably not going to get hit at all.
Ever. Nice. That comes that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Did you see that stat? Hang on a minute, I saved it the other day. It's a brilliant stat of like the strike ratio. Hang on, it's worth me finding it, I promise.
That is definitely the best strike to absorb ratio in the history.
So number 4 is Merab Dvalishvili with 3.3 to 1. Chael Sonnen's next with 3.37 to 1. Cain Velasquez with 4.45 to 1. And then number 1 is Khamzat Chimaev with 127 to 1. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Wow.
That's numbers MMA on Twitter.
Nice. Yeah, I got Shabazyan.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil Hawes.
Pick the favourites.
Chris Curtis.
Phil Hawes on a tear.
Yeah, he is.
3 wins in 2020. Another couple of good wins in 2021. Nasruddin, that we talked about. Carl Daukus, which is is a real solid win. He's flying. This is a been tough fight for Chris Curtis coming into the UFC on debut. And I know he's been around and he is quite experienced, but he's experienced predominantly on sort of domestic smaller shows, isn't he?
Yeah.
He popped his head up at the PFL, and I don't think that went very well for him. Did he lose 2 or 3 in the PFL, I think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of names on his record I recognise.
Yeah.
One of them being Bilal Muhammad. He lost to him in 2014. He also lost to Forrest Petts, who I have a loss on my record too as well. Good wrestler. I mean, that might be a bit of his kryptonite. He might be a...
Yeah, I wasn't blown away with how he sort of moves. I was like, oh, okay. I get where you're at.
But then, is the is the way to beat Phil Hawes, make him work and make him work hard for the first round and a bit, and then try and...
Yeah, I don't know if he's getting sort of...
You reckon he's adapting?
Technically better. Because like we've said a million times, I don't think it's a physical thing. It can only be like there's 2 decision wins.
Maybe it was the expectations on him that were exhausting.
It can't be a physical thing enough that you can do too much about it. It's how I implement my game plan and understand energy expenditure. And he's 2 decisions in a row. He can't be fighting for 1 round and hanging on for 2 against Kyle Daukaus, can he?
Yeah. I also don't think the UFC would bring somebody in that's going to be a real problem for him at this stage.
No, you think they'd sort of like him, want to build him a bit?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think Phil Hawes takes this one.
So do I.
Okay. This is a banger.
Yeah, innit?
Iaquinta versus Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green should change his nickname to Bam Bam Bigelow. Now he's got his whole head tattooed.
That's
Remember
a big call.
Bam Bam Bigelow with all the flames?
Yeah. It's just Iaquinta's the vintage, like 2014, 2015. It's just not there. Like,
you don't think it's there?
It's not really there. He's basically part time, right? He has
he's a real estate agent now, isn't he?
Yeah.
A realtor.
He's probably got a great property portfolio, but he just doesn't. During that time when around the Ross fight, that obviously didn't come off very well for us, but he was flying for a bit, wasn't he?
He was. I mean, he took that fight on short notice against Khabib, didn't he?
Yeah.
And gave a good account of himself. Stuffed a couple of takedowns later in the fight. Win over Kevin Lee, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Win over Masvidal. He's got good wins on his record. And
it's just a while ago now. That's
it. But decision lost to Cowboy. Decision lost to Hooker. I kind of feel like he is at that level, regardless of whether he's fighting regularly or not. Like, this is the level that Iaquinta is, and some fighters are naturally below that, and some fighters are above it. And I feel like the ones that are above it are at the top tier of fighters. Then if you look at Bobby Green's record, I feel like he's kind of banged his head on guys that are below that level of Iaquinta. Like, I don't think that Drakkar Klose, Francisco Trinaldo, Thiago Moises, or Rafael Fiziev at the moment are above the Iaquinta level, and he's lost a decision to all of those.
Yeah.
I think over 3 rounds, Iaquinta might be able to be smarter with his hands, counter any kicks that Bobby Green throws, and do enough to negate that unpredictability of Bobby Green kind of hanging his arms and stepping in with weird stuff.
Yeah.
Have you got Bobby Green?
I've got Bobby Green, but only because I thought he'd lull Iaquinta into a brawling and hurt him.
Yeah.
Because Al's a fighter, isn't he?
He is.
Fighter's fighter.
He is.
He comes into fight.
I
tried to watch that Thiago Moises fight, but Fight Pass is a piece of shit, so I couldn't watch it, unfortunately. Which is sort of goes against the whole idea of Fight Passes. You can watch all the fights, but there you go. Maybe they're hard up this year.
Oh, I bet they are.
I couldn't afford to actually optimise their platform.
Surely that crypto company can help them out. 175 million.
Surely.
My goodness. Who you got then? Bobby Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
I predict who you've got based on your opening statement.
You should try predicting the fights instead.
No, I don't bother with that.
Then you might get better numbers.
I just like to disagree with you. I'm not really bothered who wins.
No.
Like, anyone that knows, I just generally pick the opposite of you.
I know that.
But I also like to talk you out of your pick
I know
first.
that, so I'm actually picking the opposite what I think. So you'll pick it, and then
right?
And get a win.
Yeah. I don't think you.
That doesn't work anyway.
I don't think it's that complex.
No. So are you taking Allo? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And I am very excited for this next one. So this is last fight on the prelims, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Andreas Michailidis against Alex Pereira.
Yeah. Before we kick off, if you want to go and get a bit more information about Alex Pereira, if you don't sort of know him, Amy did a wicked interview in his build-up to a Glory fight, didn't she?
With the current light heavyweight champion.
Yeah, and when we watched it, Glover comes over really well, doesn't he?
He was enjoying himself.
He's loving it.
Yeah,
loving training with Alex. Love the interview with Amy. Go have a look. It's on the channel. You'll find it on there. It's it's definitely worth it. It's under the Glory tab.
And anybody that doesn't know Alex Pereira is, because I would imagine there are a few. He was the guy that knocked out Izzy in kickboxing. He's a very slick striker.
He's a bad man.
2-weight champion in Glory. Yeah, very slick. I did a war room on his fight against Vakitov as well. Definitely worth a watch. He's a very, very slick striker.
Yeah.
Very slick. Stopped Adesanya, beat him by decision. He's got some
Surely,
wicked knockouts on his record.
Michailidis surely is going to have to take his space off him, grapple him, and
If I was him, I'd either jump guard at the face off, or I would forward roll myself across the cage like Sonic the Hedgehog.
just repeat
and try and
Imanari rolls
grab up
until
and
you find something.
You don't want to be standing with him for very long.
This is going to go awfully because he's a bit loopy and a bit wild anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
And if he tries to be all loopy with Alex, he's going to get stung.
He's going to
stung
get caught
hard
with a flying
down
knee.
the middle. Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. He's going to stop him with knees.
he's going to get picked apart.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, Alex Pereira has not got much MMA experience. He's got a lot of kickboxing experience, but his MMA experience is what 3-1.
Yeah, something like that.
So his one loss was a rear naked choke, but I think that was his MMA debut.
Right.
Against a guy that was 3-0, so it was probably a miscalculation there.
I want to see Alex get a win here. I think he's really exciting for the division. And we'll find out where his grappling's at. We'll find out where his anti-clinch is at and whether he can get people off his legs or not.
Mm-hmm. And they need to hustle him through quick because he's 34 and I want to see him fight Adesanya in MMA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. His jiu-jitsu might be good enough to cause Adesanya problems. Who knows?
Who knows?
Like he certainly looks like he kind of lost a little bit of interest in kickboxing in his last fight. It was like he beat Vakitov by split decision.
Maybe sort of like checked out and he was onto the next thing.
I mean, he lost the majority decision. Vakitov came for him though.
Yeah.
And it was like he wanted his belt back.
Yeah.
And Vakitov...
You're leaving, I want the belt back.
Yeah. And Pereira just didn't really look like he was that interested to be there. Still dangerous, but partly checked out, I think. I'm going with Pereira. I think he's going to stop him with knees in the first round.
Yeah.
Excited. Okay. Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera.
Oh, man. Like, Frankie's a legend, but he's 2-4 in his last 6. He's 40 years old. I don't want to see him taking that head trauma again. He's just been... Think about how much head trauma he's took over the years. Like, he hasn't not been in a war, has he?
Mate, the Gray Maynard fights would have finished off some fighters.
It's...
We're going to have to keep an eye on him in the coming years, I think.
Innit?
That Corey Sandhagen knee was... I mean, I remember the Korean zombie fight as well. It was just... I don't know. You know what you're going to get with Frankie Edgar. He's going to be in front of you with his footwork, and he's going to have good boxing, and he's got great wrestling. And
he's tough,
durable, gets stung on his heels, comes back into the fight. Hustles himself into a takedown. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Marlon Vera's just. I just think we might have seen the point where Frankie Edgar's turned that corner, and he might now be a. The longer he fights, the more they're going to use him for these kind of fights.
I don't want to see him used like that, do you? Like, Frankie's like one of the, he's one of the best that ever did it, and he's given us some fights that, we're never going to forget. And he's super skilled. Like, he was at the forefront of in and out fast footwork, wasn't he? Like, he sort of changed the game a little bit, and a lot of people emulated him.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine, he was one of the first fighters to really stitch striking and wrestling together, I thought. Imagine what he'd be like as a coach.
Yeah, gold.
Be amazing.
Yeah,
he'd be a mastermind.
I mean, I think Marlon Vera might take this. You can never write Frankie off because he lives off that. Do you know what I mean? That's his lifeblood, isn't it? But I hope Frankie wins. But I think the smarter pick is probably Marlon.
Yeah, I agree. I just think he's a bit more fiery. He's a bit more. I mean, he's 28. He's a bit up and down, but then he's a very emotional fighter. But I do think he connects, and he connects well. And I think that Frankie's taken the best shots of his career so far.
Yeah, it's just it's uncomfortable. When I think about Frankie getting hurt again, it just doesn't feel right. No, it doesn't sit right.
No, yeah, agreed.
Yeah, not cool.
Agreed. Okay.
Hope he goes well.
Yeah. Shane Burgos against. Oh no, did we make? Yeah, we both picked Marlon Vera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Shane Burgos against Billy Quarantillo.
Shane Burgos.
Yeah?
Yeah,
you're
love him.
You're a fan of him, aren't you?
Yeah, I love him.
Bit susceptible to low kicks sometimes, isn't he? Bit susceptible
it's like
to big shots.
It just pretends it's not happening.
Mate, and that knockout, who was it against?
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
That was weird.
Delayed one.
Yeah. That was it, Barbosa.
Yeah.
Where he
it was like
looked off into the distance as he saw his soul leave his body. He was like, there I am. What's going on?
Yeah, very strange. I like him. He's not. You always say he's very, very heavy on that front foot, and that's why I can't get it out of the way when people low leg chop him, can they? But man, he has got cardio like not many other people. Unbelievable. I think this will be bloody. I think they're going to come at each other. Billy's tough, isn't he? I think Shane's maybe a little bit too sharp for him, but yeah. What are you smirking at?
I don't know. I don't know. I can see Billy Quarantillo just being a bit too much for him.
Yeah.
Just yeah. Because I like Burgos. I like how he fights, but he is also very susceptible to taking a lot of punishment when he doesn't really need to. Yeah. And I think Billy, I don't know. I could see him just roughing him up over 15 minutes. It might well be fight of the night. It might be the sleeper on the card.
It'll be bloody,
be a mess
for sure.
I could see him kind of Dom frying each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
it's a wicked fight.
Yeah, I think Quarantillo wins.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think he might even stop him late. It might be like a real messy TKO.
Yeah, stopping Shane Burgos late. He's just getting warmed up late.
Yeah, you're not stopping him late like Edson Barbosa did in his last fight.
That was the one time.
Apart from like when Calvin Kattar stopped him at 32 seconds of the third round.
You know, this is not, my picks aren't based on reality. It's based on
Mate,
mood.
Your life's not based on reality these days.
It's based on mood.
Based on mood.
Yeah.
So you're going with
I'm going Burgos.
I'll go with Quarantillo then.
G. Yeah.
Okay. Coco main event.
Coco. Man, this is going to be some high octane shit in it. These two are coming to fight. I know you've done a war room on the rest of the card pretty much. All three.
I've done a war room on the rest of the card and I've done a breakdown show on the main event, which you can get to by using NordVPN.
Boom.
73% off with the code
Outlawed /
Outlawed with a D on the end.
You said that right? Yeah, we said that right. Links in the bio anyway. Yeah. Or links in the description.
Go on then, tell me about this one.
Fuck. I don't really know.
Well, that's not good.
I feel like they're very, very...
It's kind of your job to know now.
They're very, very close.
They are.
Very, very close. Mike... Yeah, fuck, I don't know. I don't know. If this turns into a big dick measuring competition and they try and bang it out, then I think Justin probably is going to land, and he's going to land a little bit harder. If this is pure MMA, technical understanding, I think Mike Chandler can potentially edge this. Both super athletic. I think Chandler maybe has a little bit of an edge athletically, like the way he moves a bit. He's just got a bit more pop to him, and he's a bit of a super freak. Like if you watch some of his training stuff, he's a bit of a super freak. Seems like he can basically do anything. Like if he didn't do this, slim down a bit, he'd probably be a gymnast. Yeah.
That's he's a transferable athlete, and I don't think Justin Gaethje is.
I feel like Justin was going to fight, and then he just happened to now get paid for it. But the fighting thing is what he was going to do. Have we seen Justin on his? Have you seen him on his back apart from with Habib?
Not that I can remember. I don't think so.
Yeah. And whether Mike can put him on his back and beat him up from there, I don't know. But
I think the point of difference between the two is if Gaethje ends up on his back, it's because Chandler's hit him hard with a split-second takedown as Gaethje was stepping forward to punch or kick, and bam, he's on the floor, and then Gaethje's hustling to get back up. If it ends up on the floor with Chandler on the bottom, I think it's because Gaethje's either mauled him, caught him with a shot and knocked him down and then followed him to the floor.
Yeah, he's not going to take him down.
Well, he might, but it's going to be one of those grinding, keep tripping, keep working on the legs and like up against the fence kind of. I don't know if Gaethje will waste his energy doing that, to be honest. I think what he's going to do is similar to what he did with Vic and Barbosa. You push him back against the fence and he'll start trying to walk him onto those looping shots and keep chopping into his lead leg. Because Chandler's got that really long stance, which aids that speed forward movement, but it also leaves him vulnerable to the calf kick.
Yeah.
And I think Gaethje might bang that leg up pretty bad and then just start mauling him at close range. I could definitely see Gaethje beating him here. I think if Chandler wins, it's going to be that flash stepping cross that he uses all the way through his Bellator career. But I think Gaethje mauls him. I think he smashes his lead leg, and I think he gets in close and beats him up. I could even see him stopping him with a knee. You know what I mean?
Opposite sides of the fence again.
I could see Gaethje just dragging him down onto a knee and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's look at Gaethje. So. Yeah, beat Tony. Punches. Yeah, he likes to punch, don't he?
And he's just like his last couple of fights in particular. He's just been so good at like walking people onto stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like Barbosa and Vic with opposite directions.
But Chandler get his chin checked in Bellator by anyone? Like I said, can you
Yeah,
remember?
he had a couple of hard fights in Bellator. I mean, he has got 6 losses on his record, but like he got stopped by Will Brooks in the 4th round. He also lost a split decision to Will Brooks and to Eddie Alvarez, and the Alvarez fight was just that was a bloodbath as well. He had some real competitive fights in Bellator, but he always had a good showing. I mean, he got stopped by Pitbull in the 1st round as well, but that was a much quicker fight, and he was just like what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas the Will Brooks one was like they were both bloody, and he was stopped in the end of the 4th round.
I wonder where he's at sort of mentally, because he seems like he sort of builds a bit of a Superman persona around himself, and whether he needs that to do what he does or whatever. And then he's come in and he's just got finished by the champ. I wonder like how he. I suppose he's done it before, isn't he? He's lost big fights before and he's bounced back and got wins straight away.
Yeah,
has he ever lost? Oh, he had that bad run, didn't he? He lost 3 on the bounce.
I think it's a really competitive fight.
Yeah,
but I think it is basically who starts well. I think if Gaethje starts well and he starts cracking that calf and starts walking him
slows him down a bit.
Yeah.
And, like saps that athleticism out of him a little bit.
Whereas if Chandler's kind of a bit in and out, keeps offering a level change, so Gaethje's not exactly sure what's happening, and he's working that speed in, cracking with a couple of shots and get out of the way, he might start to damage Gaethje to the point where he might be able to prime him for a knockout. But I think it would take a few good shots from Chandler to do that, and I think Gaethje can probably get inside in the process. Low kicks would be the key for Gaethje.
It would slow Mike down a lot, wouldn't it? Yeah. I got
Opposite
Chandler.
sides, then.
You got Gaethje.
Yeah.
Right.
You like the guy that can do more push-ups, always.
Yeah, definitely. We know that push-up wins fights. It's just science.
You'd be world champ if that was the case. Okay. Rose Namajunas against Zhang WeiLi. Rematch.
Rose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Rear
She
naked
believes
choke.
now.
She believes.
She believes.
You believe by
She
the
got
sound
it.
of it.
Yeah, I do believe. She got it. She believes. She's showing everyone what she can do. I would imagine WeiLi is training like a maniac for this fight, wouldn't you?
She even cut her hair to save time washing it.
Just like...
No excuse. Can't train on washing my hair is no longer an excuse that she can use. She's on it.
Do you think is Rose a better martial artist overall? Like, WeiLi's obviously at excellent, very, very high level. Do you think Rose, if you had to just do an objective assessment, Rose is a better martial artist?
I think they're comparable. I just think the point of difference is that Rose's martial arts is better applied.
Yeah.
I think that's the same for a lot of these fights. It's the same for the Gaethje Chandler one. It's the same for the main event. It's which one of them applies their skill set better at this level. Like, I think Rose she's a smarter fighter. She's more calculated. I think the fact that she's had losses early in her career, to Carla Esparza and the decision loss to Kowalkiewicz, it's crafted her into a real thinking fighter. And because she's quite emotional and because she's very emotionally invested in these fights, I think she does a lot of very conscious training to get ready for it. You know what I mean? Almost like
she recognizes she gets emotionally attached.
A bit like Cowboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Cowboy does everything he can to like secure like same hat, same belt buckle. Yeah. He brings his trailer to the place. He's like he tries to maintain this like control over everything.
Yeah.
And I think she does the same thing, and I think that's why she has a lot of very kind of self-aware training. I think Zhang WeiLi trains really hard, and I think she's very effective at what she does against the vast majority. But I don't think she's quite thinking on the same level as Rose. Like if you think about that first fight, so Zhang came out and she threw 6 inside low kicks.
Yeah.
And Rose didn't throw any kicks. And then when she did decide to throw a kick, she stepped in as if she was going to throw an inside low kick and came straight up to the head. And you see Zhang just like slide her lead leg away to get away from it.
Yeah.
That's a high level calculation.
Do you think because of Zhang throwing the inside leg kicks the first leg that came back, she was assuming it would be an inside leg kick.
Exactly.
Because that's where her head was at with what she was doing.
Who throws a step high kick in their first kick?
First kick from you on a fight is a step high kick. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think if Zhang gets close to her and grabs a hold of her, I think she's a nightmare. She's got some wicked elbows. She's got some really good knees, and if she can kind of tire her out and slow her down, then even those clinch breaks where WeiLi can follow with high kicks, she's dangerous. She's got a really good high kick knockout finish in Kunlun, but I feel like Rose bookends her skills very well. I think as long as she's on the outside and she's stinging her, she's way more calculated and more dangerous. And I think their impact is probably the same. I think in the clinch, Zhang starts to take over a bit because she's a bit stronger and a bit more short range, vicious with elbows and knees. But then I think Rose has probably got the more well-rounded grappling. But if she gets hurt or tired or stuck on the bottom in crucifix, then Zhang's going to maul her.
Bully her.
Yeah.
Bully her. The other thing, similar to what we said before, but like Zhang hasn't lost since 2013. Like she's built this superhero thing around her. She's the pride of the country. Everyone's talking about her. She's gone win all the way through. Like then she got finished with a head kick. Bang, done. Like that bubble is burst as much as you can burst it, innit? How does she come back from that? Has she trained herself into the floor? You know,
that's another good point. I mean, she could have over prepared herself, exhausted herself out. The psychology of it might not be doing her any favors.
No.
I mean, you're
whereas
right,
Rose has been through. She's sort of been through this, right? She's had a couple of
UFC
bad losses. Yeah,
you know, I think Zhang WeiLi expected to come in and be completely dominant,
yeah,
especially because
lose.
like she's never been stopped either. Like that one loss on her record, I think it was against Meng Bo, who's a tough fighter.
Yeah. And
that was a 2-round decision loss.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it?
It's not like it must have been incredibly frustrating for her to start off with that, and then all the way through her career after that. What did she have? A 20-fight win streak.
Yeah.
She was fighting not the toughest of opposition, but also they weren't bringing bombs over for her to fight in Kunlun. They were raiding the Brazilian gym, so she was getting a lot of variety like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. She's a good fighter. She's a very well-rounded fighter. I just think Rose is probably thinking a little bit more during the fight, and I think that gives her the advantage. I think this fight might be more difficult than the first one. The first one was a bit too easy for her, really. But like if you look at her fights against Joanna, like she stopped her in the first round and then she beat her by decision. I could see her beating her by decision, and I think if Rose stops her this time, it'll probably be a rear naked choke.
Yeah. It's a cool fight, man.
Really good.
I like a rematch. I got Rose.
Yeah.
I think she's going to do it again. I'll be fascinated to see how much anxiety Zhang WeiLi's bringing in from the change of being indestructible to being sort of KO'd in front of everyone and what have you. I wonder if she holds that tension, you know what I mean?
Yeah. She won't be underestimating Rose this time.
No, she won't, will she?
She's going to be on her guard all the way through. All very aggressive.
There's not been any, they got a little bit heated last time, didn't it? And they got in under each other's skins a little bit, some misinterpretation.
Definitely some misinterpretation. Yeah. Rose is just not, she's not interested in any kind of trash talk.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you reckon?
Both for Rose, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. I think Rose is going to do it, for sure.
Wicked.
Okay. Main event, another rematch.
Oh, what a fight, man. We're blessed. Like, arguably, Kamaru Usman is one of the best, if not the best welterweight of all time. It could be argued, and he's peak right now. He's peak. He knows his craft. He's in ridiculous shape. He's sharp physically. Like, I feel like even, like I think we said this before, when I hear him talking, I don't necessarily want to be mates with him, but he seems like he's confident who he is, confident what he's doing. He's got a package. He understands the game. He knows what he has to do. He's got his training down. He's just peak, isn't he? He's just peak right now.
He is.
And you got Covington, who he's about 1% behind him probably, and we're going to find out whether. Like, I don't want to hang out with Colby either, to be perfectly honest. But
that's the good thing about it. I'm not at all invested in this fight. I don't really care for either of them too much. Like, Usman kind of wears on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, the character that he plays is a little bit
and the character that Colby plays is just obtuse, isn't it? But it's probably lovely.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. Underneath it all, you go for a barbecue around his house. I'm sure he's lovely. And
if he's not playing that character, you guys got a good clip of him, didn't you? Talking to the fans, and all of a sudden it was like his guard dropped, and you're like, okay,
not a belly. Oh, sweet. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I
think you're right though. He's a fraction behind Usman.
Yeah.
He's like a fraction smaller. He's a fraction weaker.
Yeah.
He's a fraction less powerful.
But you don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck. I mean, his wrestling credentials are.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the thing. He's like Colby was a Division 1 contender. Usman was a Division 2 champion.
Well, that's
right.
Yeah.
But Colby's got 61 takedowns, and he's the leader of active welterweights right now for takedown stats. 61. Usman's got 49, which I think is third. He's behind Neil Magny. But then Usman's never been taken down, never been controlled on the floor, not even for a second.
Yeah.
And Colby's like 4th or 5th down that ranking because he's been taken down and controlled for like 3.5 minutes. I say like it's 3 minutes 40, and it's a minute 8 by Kim. It's 14 seconds by Tyron Woodley and 2:14 by RDA.
In that first fight, man, there was a couple of like sequences that normally when that sequence starts happening, that leads to the ending of a fight, and Colby was on the winning side, and then it just like 3 of the 4 parts that need to happened, and then it just petered out, and then they circled off and whatever, and it happened a couple of times. You just couldn't quite. It's 1% in it. It's 1% either way.
Yeah. I think he started really well.
Yeah.
I think he started the fight really well because he was in and kind of like he fought Woodley. You know, he's in and out of range. He's like testing and he's throwing body kicks and then he's stepping through to strike and then clinch and take down. Like, we didn't see any of that. He just focused on standing in boxing range and punching.
Yeah.
After the first sort of 3 minutes or so, he really stopped throwing kicks.
Yeah.
And it was like Usman had landed a couple of really good shots to the body. And I don't know whether that was a factor in it, but like Colby needs to just be emotionless in this fight and just kind of show up.
Because he plays such a character, I can't tell whether he's too emotionally involved in the fight or he's just playing and he's actually cold as ice and he's all good. Because Kamaru comes across cold as ice nowadays. He's like business time. Like even that fight with Gilbert Burns, like that's an emotional time for most. Like he won that emotion battle with him easy. Like
Rose against Zhang Weili the first time, just like cold, just
whatever. Let's go. Yeah, I love it. He's got Usman's probably going to take it but he'll have a fight, and
I think Usman's going to stop him.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah,
I do. Yeah. I think Colby's got a really good chance, but I think he's got to work really hard to make it happen. And I think he's got to take risks and he's got to work through failures and he's probably going to have to take some shots. And I think what we learned from the last fight is he can be competitive, but if they were playing that slaps game, slap for slap, Usman's going to knock Covington out before Usman's bothered by any of Covington's stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think the pound for pound power is on Usman's side. I think he's physiologically bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting because it took me ages to really break this fight down and get into it. And when I looked into like the details of their career, like there are only 4 people on either side have tried to take him down, and 3 of them are the same. It's Woodley's tried to take both of them down once. He was successful against Covington, but only for 14 seconds, so we can scrap that. Yeah. Damian Maia tried 13 times against Covington and 15 times against Woodley and failed every one of them. But the difference was one...
Demoralising.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The difference was Usman was over 25 minutes and Covington was over 15. So, like, Covington was working hard in that fight. He took more punches than Usman did in over 25 minutes. But then the interesting one, I think, is RDA. Because RDA tried to take Usman down once, I think, and failed. He tried to take Colby down 6 times and got 3 of them. So it's like if you just think of RDA's perspective of the 2 of them, like Usman was standing in front of him for 25 minutes, lighting him up, and he tries to take him down once, and that was a half-assed takedown. Like I don't think he comprehended that he would be able to take Usman down, but he fancied his chances against Colby
and got him,
or got half of them. Yeah. Like I think that shows like the interpretation of a common opponent.
Each of them,
the perception. That's it. Yeah. That's one of the most interesting things about this for me is that I think the way that their opponents perceive them is different, and Usman is more intimidating. And with the straight punching that he's got,
that
he's
fucking
crafted.
violent direct jab, isn't he? That he just
No emotion, no wind up.
Like if you're gonna have something to sit behind, that's what you want to sit behind. Make your decisions behind like a direct, violent snap of a jab, and that's sort of buys him time, doesn't it, to assess.
It's a bit of a Glover Teixeira game.
Yeah,
like imagine bolting Glover Teixeira's grappling onto Usman's wrestling and striking.
Beautiful.
Adding a bit of Corey Sandhagen flair in there, drifting around.
Man, I just think they're both warriors, and I think Usman will take it. I hope Covington gives him a real good scrap, and I do think there's a glimmer of hope for him. I think he can, he can do it, but the
but
smart.
You don't think he will?
Yeah, smart.
You think he can do it, but I don't think he will.
The smart money's on Kamaru, I think.
Yeah, agreed. I think Kamaru. He's going to look
be good, man. That's a good card, isn't it? That's a good card, and we've been blessed with the one we just watched.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
we're getting some good ones.
Yeah, man. And Bellator 270 this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll be there. We'll be streaming the weigh-ins and a few other bits. Peter Queally against Patricky Pitbull main event, and James Gallagher against Patchy Mix. Daniel Weichel also on the card as well.
Nice, old school.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So make sure you check that out. That'll be on BBC iPlayer, and I think Bellator have got a TV deal, haven't they? They show it on. Is it Showtime or? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
So make sure you check that out as well.
And don't forget to check out onbanmarino.com and use the code OUTLAW. You'll get 15% off and free shipping. You can have a beanie or a hoodie like us. Very nice. They'll give you free shipping over $100. NordVPN, if anyone is messing with what you're allowed to watch and geo-blocking stuff, which is rude.
Damn the man.
Damn them.
Damn them.
Rebel and go to nordvpn.com/outlawed and you will get 73% off a 2-year plan, 4 months free of charge, and a 30-day guarantee.
Nice.
All done.
All right.
Lovely.
Catch you later.
Let's get to the gym.
See you soon.